A last chorus for your ears only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Catherine Herzog with this news quote, "If that's not healthy, then I'll have what she's having." That was a response by supporters of Hillary Clinton to Republican suggestions she had suffered lingering damage from an earlier fall and concussion. A new memoir by the presumed Democratic presidential contender also quotes her on becoming friends with Barack Obama as like two teenagers on an awkward first date. Now this.
Something inside of me started a symphony. Sing, went the strings of my heart.
So sang the rising stage and screen star Emily Bergel in her debut Cabaret show 3 years ago. But that cheery 1934 sentiment represents neither the beginning nor the end of her new show at New York's 54 Below Supper Club about the real-life roller coaster of romance, which often starts with longing and ends in loss. The show is called Till I Get It Right, after the 1973 Tammy Wynette hit. And to talk more about it and her career, from Shakespeare in Central Park to Shameless on Showtime, with Hollywood in between, for your ears only, Emily Bergel is on the line now. Welcome to our show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You were born in Britain to an English dad and an Irish mom, but grew up in Illinois, so no accent. But any memories of England as a child?
Oh, very much so. And, you know, we go over a lot because all our family's still over in England and Ireland. But actually, the thing that I remember most was, especially back then, you really couldn't get, like, the British candy. And so I had all of my favorite sweets taken away from me at a young age. So even now to this day, when I go over to England, I'll have like 8 bags of the potato chips that I used to like as a kid.
You had several starring roles in college plays. Is that when the stage bug bit you, or were you acting even as a kid?
Oh, I was a little megalomaniac producer when I was a kid. I actually once, at 10 years old, taught kids to play the piano and sing and organize a recital for them and all of their parents at my house. And I've actually found the programs that I made, and it's ridiculous. Like, I'm in every number. It's like, with piano by Emily Bergel, directed by Emily Bergel, catering by Emily Bergel.
You started on screen only 2 years out of Grinnell, most notably in a sequel to the...
Actually, less than a year.
You were in the supernatural sequel to Carrie, then a lot of TV, including roles in Desperate Housewives, Men in Trees. How do you compare the difference between making movies and TV?
You know, people ask me what I prefer all the time, and I mean, I have to say that I really do enjoy both. I mean, financial compensation aside. But, you know, I think I have more control over my performance on stage, which I like. And it's more about the acting. Sometimes you're just so rushed in TV that it's just the most important thing was that the camera get it right. And it can feel sometimes that the acting is secondary.
Your cabaret career began only 3 years ago, but were you always a singer at heart?
I was always a singer at heart, and I don't know where I got this idea, but always as a young girl, I dreamed of becoming a cabaret singer, and I think it was solidified when we had a variety show in my high school, and I sang Ain't Misbehavin', and I wore this sexy dress and, you know, sat on top of the piano, and afterwards this football player asked me out. So I think that kind of reinforced the entire thing for me.
You call your shows Nouveau Cabaret. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a term that I actually coined because I feel like I love the art form of cabaret, but I feel like it became a little kind of encased in amber, that people felt like cabaret meant that you were only doing the Great American Songbook. Now, I love the Great American Songbook, and I do several, you know, classic songs in my show, but I think there are other classics from today, from the 50s, from the 60s, from the 70s, and I think that those songs deserve that same unique cabaret treatment and focus on lyrics that the Great American Songbook does.
Let's talk about the new show, which you describe as exploring, quote, just how seductive making bad decisions can be. Say more about how you developed the idea, how much it reflects your own experience in the roller coaster of romance.
I was choosing my songs and developing the show when I was in a relationship, and I was very much in love. And I remember at the time thinking, wow, I thought that I was going to be doing this really happy show, and I ended up doing the darkest show that I've ever done. in hindsight, I probably should have listened to my song choices more because I think they were telling me a little bit about the relationship that I was in. But I feel like they're always a reflection of your subconscious. So I mean I think that is a part of it. But I think every cabaret show ends up to being about love to a certain degree. But I always find it fascinating when people are doing things or making decisions that they're against their own best interests, but they just can't help doing it anyway. I've always find that very interesting, and I feel like a lot of songs are about that. And a lot of songs are sung, a lot of songs we know are sung in a certain way. When you look at the lyrics, you think, why are songs sung in a certain way? And so I like to really look at lyrics and especially reinvent songs that we know a certain way, but when you really listen to what the song is saying, it's a lot different than you thought it was.
Rising stage and screen star Emily Bergel performs her Till I Get It Right show June 10, 13, and 14 at the 54 Below Supper Club, 254 West 54th Street near Broadway in New York. Call 646-476-3551 and check out emilybergel.net.
Sometimes I think I found my hero, but it's a queer romance. All that you need is a ticket. Come on, big boy, 10 cents a dance.
And this has been For Your Ears Only.